Survival horror games. For some, a warm welcoming to an otherwise chilling experience. For others... Ah! Ah! Oh my god! We really love to get our shit rocked with scary games.
Why is he allowed to do that?
Hey guys, my name is Tony. I'm this idiot right here. And today I want to talk about one of the biggest titans in survival horror genre, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
So we all know that there's this new game coming out. I mean, of course we do. That's why we're here. And yeah, I did play the demo and it was awesome. I liked what I saw. But in order for me to get into why I can't wait for this game, we need to talk about some other Resident Evil games real quick. We have to go back. GameCube era back. That's right, y'all. We talking about Resident Evil 4.
I received special training via a secret organization working under the...
As a kid, it was the first Resident Evil game I beat because I was too chicken shit, basically, to finish any of the other ones, really. Couldn't even get past the first zombie for the Resident Evil remake on GameCube. And to be honest, I didn't fare too well with Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. Anyways, Resident Evil 4. This game holds a special place in my heart, of course, and there's a million reasons why. I can honestly make a whole video just talking about Resident Evil 4, but just what I really want to get out of Resident Evil 4 for now is just the locations. You have this amazing, freaky, classic location that is a village. Oh, and you also have a castle. Ooh, you see where I'm going with this? So yeah, I mean, I can make an entire video just talking about Resident Evil 4 because I absolutely love this game. But again, really just the locations is the reason to bring this game up. So after Resident Evil 4, Capcom chose to continue pursuing more action-oriented games for their Resident Evil series, which gave us Resident Evil 5, and then a few years later, Resident Evil 6. But it's easy to see that these games received some backlash, especially 6. Which left Resident Evil fans disappointed, and as a result, Resident Evil kind of fell off for a little bit. For a while, other survival horror games took the spotlight, and I mean, even by the time Resident Evil 6 came out, survival horror was taking a step into the first-person perspective. It was a layer of immersion that was unmatched by other horror games. And just when everyone thought the end of Resident Evil was imminent, Resident Evil 7 dropped. And by God, this game is phenomenal. In Resident Evil 7, you play as someone completely new to the series, Ethan Winters. And at first, the game seems to be like a reboot for the series, a new start of sorts. Early on in the game, you meet the Baker family, which are some of the greatest characters in the series. I absolutely love Jack. I mean, this guy is as funny as he is scary. He's so good. Throughout the game, you solve puzzles and navigate through the Baker estate in order to find your wife and escape. You fight a bunch of different enemies, like the Molded, that are creepy as hell, and almost gives the Regenerators a run for their money, although Regenerators are still scarier. Just listen to that breathing. Ugh. Still sends shivers down my spine. So as you progress through the game, you fight off the ever-evolving bosses that is the Baker family, and I love fighting these bosses. See, that's another thing that Resident Evil 7 got right. A lot of these modern survival horror games are heavily focused on stealth, and in some of them, there aren't even any weapons. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think that these games are still great. It's just that Resident Evil 7's combat system is so fun and it's still so challenging that it makes for a great survival horror feel. But to be honest, these aren't the things that make Resident Evil 7 a masterpiece to me. The characters, the way they interact with you, and the way that events are scripted in this game, absolutely brilliant. The point of taking the FPS approach is to get the player more immersed, as I stated earlier. And Resident Evil 7 had immersion as their #1 goal. I'll give you an example. At the start of the game, you see a cop at a window who gives you a knife and seems to be a chance to escape the house. You meet the cop in the garage and he is attacked by Jack. Now you're trapped in this garage with Jack and it's your first boss fight. All you have is a knife. There's a bunch of scripted things that can happen in this battle, and I love it. On your first run, you might just go right at him with the knife and try to stab him to death. That's what I tried doing. It'll take a while, but you can get him that way. Let's say for the sake of this example, he manages to kill you. Okay, on your second try, you may run to the right and discover the keys to the vehicle, and so now you get in the car and run Jack over. Then a scripted event occurs whenever you beat him this way. Just watch.
Oh, shit! Nice car, Ethan. Let's finish this, you and I. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take you for a ride. No!
Jack rips the roof of your car and drives you into a steel beam. And then he smiles at you. Look at Jack smiling at you. Okay, so now the fight is over, right? You leave the car, Jack is on fire, and the car blows up. He falls to the ground. You think, okay, now Jack is dead, all right? This is the first time you play the game. You're like, all right, this is over, right? And you start walking up the ladder. And then this happens.
Do I have your attention, boy? You're about to see something wonderful. Oh, fuck!
I love this scene. My man just blows his head up. See, that's the thing about this game. It's like you're playing a B-movie. I like to compare it to one of my all-time favorite films, Evil Dead. Resident Evil 7 has all that fun, campy horror that I grew up loving, and really no other game has been able to display that properly the way that Resident Evil 7 has. Now, once you finally beat the game and find out that Chris Redfield is in it,
Redfield.
you have the DLC to play. And man, the DLC for this game is great. The first DLC you're going to want to play is Not a Hero. And the reason you're going to want to play this is because it is a direct sequel to Resident Evil 7. It happens like a couple seconds after Resident Evil 7 ends. Not a Hero follows Chris Redfield on a mission to hunt down Lucas, the only one of the Baker family to survive Evelyn. This DLC is really good, but I mainly bring it up for two reasons. Now, the first reason I bring it up is because of the price. This DLC is free. I mean, it's just download it. If you have Resident Evil 7, download this. It's really good. Just play it. Amazing. Secondly, I bring this up because it makes Resident Evil 7 go full circle in my eyes. I mean, see, in every single Resident Evil game, there's always like a countdown and a lab at the end. Sometimes, you know, scratch the lab, but definitely the countdown. That always stays in like every Resident Evil game. But 7 doesn't have a countdown. 7, you go to the ship with Mia and Ethan, and then you go back to the house, you fight off Evelyn, bada bing, bada boom, no countdown. But in this DLC, Chris Redfield, he knows about the countdowns. And my man doesn't go through one countdown. No, he goes through 2 countdowns in this game. The first countdown is because of this wristwatch, which is really good. The second countdown is like just, you know, it's like an automated thing counting down in 5 seconds. So it's not as epic, but whatever. I still count it. Also, this game has a secret underground lab, which is a great nod to almost every Resident Evil game as well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this DLC is amazing. It's free. If you have Resident Evil 7, download it. All right, now for the star of the show, y'all. End of Zoe is like one of the best DLCs I have ever played. I mean, seriously, I'm just so shocked that no one ever talks about this DLC. This takes B-movie to a whole other level. So this DLC starts off right after the events of Resident Evil 7. And we see Zoe, one of the Baker families that helps you throughout the main campaign of the game. And she's turned to ice because Evelyn died. I'm not really sure why, but the point is that she was infected, so Evelyn's death caused her to turn to ice, I guess. Anyways, these 2 soldiers find her, and then suddenly this old man just shows up and beats the shit out of these soldiers. And so you find out that this old man is Joe Baker. It's Jack's brother. You play as one of the greatest characters, brother, in this DLC. I already love it. Like, and if that's not already amazing enough, just guess what kind of weapon you use in this game. What do you think? Some gimmicky Albert Wesker gun? A powerful Resident Evil shotgun? I don't know, maybe a machine gun or a grenade launcher. No. Not this man. Not Joe. Joe is a goddamn man of the bayou, nature man who doesn't care about anything. If he's gonna fight, he's gonna fight with his fist. That's right. You use your own goddamn hands to kill enemies in this DLC. It's amazing. Joe is an absolute badass. You use your right and left trigger to box out all the molded that stand in your way. He probably wrestles gators on his spare time. I love it. But don't try wrestling the gators in this DLC because they will kill you. I tried myself and it didn't work out. But and what can I say? These gators have been infected, you know? I bet he wrestles normal gators. Like, he probably has no problem with regular gators, I bet. There's also new molded enemy types. And I mean, like, look how scary they look, right? You know, like, if I saw this in the main campaign, I'd be like, oh, crap, I gotta shoot this thing with my shotgun, or I gotta take it out quick because this thing looks like it'll hurt. But not Joe. You're just gonna run up to this guy and beat him up. Just beat the hell out of the molded. Hell yeah. And if all that wasn't badass enough, Joe has to go one-on-one with Swamp Man. Swamp Man. It's like B-movie magic right there. Look at this. You just fight a Swamp Man. It's like, he looks like Swamp Thing. He really, look at him. He really looks like Swamp Thing. But I don't care. I love it. It's the best thing ever. At the end of the fight, Joe rips Swamp Man's head off. And look at how intense this moment is.
That's how you get it done.
So of course, you fight him again. And guys, it gets a whole lot more epic from here. Because when you rip this thing's face off, it's revealed that Swamp Man wasn't just any old Swamp Man. It wasn't just some regular guy who... Alright, the point is that it's Jack. So in this instance, Jack wins and he puts Joe in a box and throws Joe in a river. Now, normally, if you get put in a box with a little hole and you get thrown in a river, you would probably drown. But not Joe. Joe doesn't care about being drowned. I mean, how could he care about being drowned? He's been eating grub this whole time. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, there's an array of healing items in this DLC that you find hidden behind rocks and trees. Joe is just eating centipedes, crawfish, and fat ass juicy worms. He just slurps it down and he heals. Well, it gets better. In order to help you take down Jack, you find a gauntlet. And you can now charge your left hooks to basically one-hit everything in your way. Now, it's time to fight Jack. Back where it all started, in the main living room of the Baker house. You fight Jack in the most epic boxing match yet. And you finish it off with a punch that just blows his head wide open. Finally killing Jack Baker. All in all, Resident Evil 7 is an absolute masterpiece. With amazing characters, storytelling, and enough goofy moments to make it memorable for years to come. Now let's talk about Resident Evil 8. I know, this video was more about 7 than 8. And well, I mean, that's because 7 is the reason that I can't wait for 8. Ethan Winters is an amazing protagonist. I can't wait to see how his character evolves in this new IP. I can't wait to uncover the secrets of the village and the castle, which are very reminiscent of Resident Evil 4, as I stated. All this just adds to my excitement. I can't wait. The demo, as I said, very promising. It already combines a lot of things that I love, and I know that this game is going to be great. I'm going to be doing a full review for Village at some point. It's going to be a spoiler review, but it won't release for at least 2 weeks after the game is released. So I imagine most people watching it at that point either won't mind or already played the game. Also, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming Resident Evil 8 from the day of its release until I beat it and then some. You can watch at twitch.tv/rupee_man. Hopefully I see you there. If you enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, or don't. That's all good. At the end of the day, this is trash. Hey guys, post-editing Tony here. This video originally was going to be called This Is Why I Can't Wait for Resident Evil 8, but unfortunately the game has already released. This is the first video that I edit. I'm not really good with Premiere, and I lost a lot of footage. I mean, it wasn't Premiere's fault, but it was mine, but the point is I had to re-record a lot of footage, and the video ended up coming out like 4 to 5 days later than it was supposed to be. But yeah, hopefully that won't happen again. Anyways, thanks again guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. But yeah, that's it. Thanks.